Hello Dragon Ballers, it's Dokkan Taro, and today we are going to discuss all of the banners that are coming for Global. Now for you JP guys, I realize this isn't exactly for you, so I'll see you guys tomorrow, but in the meantime for Global players, we're going to discuss all the banners that have yet to show up from the Japanese version to the Global version. We're going to start with the Dokkan Fest banners, and then we're going to talk about some of the other ones, because when it really comes down to it, the Dokkan Fest banners are the most important ones. When it comes to free-to-play players, this is mostly who I'm speaking to, but I'll also be speaking to people that occasionally spend money. Whales are going to do their thing and they're going to whale out on what they want to, but there are some people that are sort of in the middle, so we'll get into that a little bit. The next Dokkan Fest that's due to come up might not be the next banner we see, but it's Super Saiyan 3 Bardock. This banner was pretty decent. You had Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, obviously, and his team is amazing. If you have really good Super Saiyan 3 units, this is definitely one that you might want to take a look at. You've got another chance at Angel Golden Frieza if you didn't get him this time. You've also got the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. The Int Vegeta is amazing. Rage Trunks has kind of fallen off a little bit. Same with the Vegeta and the Janemba. They're not so great, but this is a pretty dang good banner. And if Global doesn't change a whole lot about this, then this is a pretty solid banner to pull on. But for free-to-play players, I would have to say this is probably one that you're going to want to skip. You just don't have enough stones to go in on every single banner, and something really amazing is coming up. Now, if you do spend a little bit of money, and you do have a lot of good Super Saiyan 3 units, or you just need any of these units, then yeah, I would say definitely consider going for this, but this might also be a skip for you. If you don't have great Super Saiyan 3 units, you don't spend a whole lot of money on this game, you're going to want to hold off because of what's coming, and I'll talk about that actually right now. The next Dokkan Fest banner that is due to come to Global is the dual Dokkan Fest between Vegito Blue, who we'll talk about first, and Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. Now the Vegito Blue banner, they're both at the same time. They're the buy 3 get 1 multi-free sort of deal. Global's been doing the step up thing where you have like a 10 stone summon and then a 30 stone summon, or like weird stuff like that, where you have the first 3 semi-multis discounted. They might do that, I don't know for sure, but that seems to be the trend. Global has been discounting the first 3 multis on both banners, and then it goes to 50-50-50 free, 50-50-50 free for the rest of them. If that's the case, if the first 3 are discounted, I recommend going in on both of them just because that's the best bang for your buck when it comes to your stones. Now, when it comes to which one is good for you, you have to look at, do you have better villains or do you have better heroes? That's what it really comes down to. So on the Vegito Blue banner, Vegito Blue is obviously kind of the star of the show. The new Rage Trunks is decent. He's very situational. Not the greatest unit in the world, but also definitely not the worst. Ultimate Gohan, amazing. Gotenks Goku, amazing. The AGL Goku, amazing. Beerus he is what he is. But this is a very, very solid banner. However, I think for a lot of people, the intrigue is going to be more aimed at the Rose banner. For myself specifically, I have better units for the villains team. Another thing is if you have LR Vegito Blue, a lot of times he's a fine replacement and or a better candidate for a Vegito Blue spot than the tech one is. Obviously, on a super tech team, you can't throw in the LR Vegito Blue because he's strength type, but in a lot of situations when it comes to categories where you're going, do I run the tech one or the LR one, you can run the LR one just fine. So if you're going to go hard on one of these banners and you have LR Vegito Blue, the Rose banner is probably going to be a better option. But once again, it's totally up to you which one you want. Depends on what units you have and what units you want to acquire. The Rose is amazing. He's a very, very highly improved version of the AGL one with a much better boost, and he also supports the rest of his team very well as well. He's just a better version, completely. Everything that the AGL Rose does, this guy does, and more. The Zamasu is alright once again, not a fantastic unit, very situational. Probably isn't going to make it on most teams, but he does have his uses. We've got Omega, who's fantastic. Shadow Dragons is a wonderful team. Super Saiyan 3 Broly just kind of is what it is. Cooler's really good. He's got his uses for sure. And then we've got Black. For whatever reason, they just love throwing Black on there. And this is your chance to get Super 17 if you never acquired Super 17. So another good reason to summon on this banner. This is probably the one that I'm going to be focusing on first. I'm going to try to get Rose first, and then I'm going to try to get Vegito Blue afterwards if I'm able. But even so, you might still want to save your stones because we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary, or the 3-year anniversary, sorry, for Global. And just like in JP, we can expect that we'll probably get the LR Dokkan Fest. Now, this is different from other LR banners. On this banner, you've got 10 featured SSRs as opposed to the usual 14 that you get on other LR banners that we've seen thus far on Global. So you've got a much higher chance of pulling the unit that you want, and it is a Dokkan Fest, so no other LRs in that banner besides the Vegito and the Gogeta. We're talking about Vegito first, though, just because that's, you know, it's the order. So both banners have this this Goku and Majin Vegeta and the Kaioken Goku and Gallic Gun Vegeta. They both have those 4 new units, and this one has the physical Super Vegito as well as Vegito Blue, and you got the AGL Super Vegito for whatever reason, and then the Boos. It's a very, very solid banner, and once again, this should be a buy 3 get 1 free deal. So if you get the Rose and you have LR Vegito Blue, and you don't spend a whole lot of money, it's probably worth it to hold on to your stones and hoard them for these banners, because these banners are going to be much more expensive to try to pull the LR Vegito or the LR Gogeta, whichever one you want, or both if you want both of them. Let's talk about the Gogeta banner. Once again, same thing with the 4 new units, but it's Gogeta instead of the Int Goku and Vegeta that become Vegito later on. We've got Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Int Gogeta, and then Janemba as the main, like, you know, prize units that you're going to want to focus on here. Very, very solid, both of these banners. Once again, the buy 3 get 1 free, it can't be beat. That's an amazing deal. 10 featured SSRs, so you're much more likely to pull the unit that you want on this than on other LR banners, but most Dokkan Fest are 7 featured SSRs, which means that you have a better chance of pulling the unit you want on a regular Dokkan Fest. Whether or not you want to go in on these is up to you, but these units are so stupid good that I even recommend free-to-play players to consider holding everything out for these banners. But if you want the safest bet, you're probably going to want to save all of your stones for Vegito Blue and Rose and see if you can pull some good units off of that before saving up for this one, or for either of these ones, whichever one you like. I personally prefer Vegito, but I do think the Gogeta banner is ever so slightly better, just because Int Gogeta and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta kind of outrank the Vegito and Kid Buu, in my opinion. So let's move on to the last full Dokkan Fest that we should be able to expect. It's the newest one from JP, and it is the Jiren banner. This one is a huge skip for free-to-play. Huge skip, and the reason is that we've already seen most of these units. Ultra Instinct Goku, Kefla, Golden Frieza, Kale, Caulifla, and the new 18 isn't really all that worth. Jiren's cool and all, but he will definitely return, just like Ultra Instinct Goku is back, just like Kefla is back. All of these units are back because they got Dokkan Awakenings. Jiren does not have a Dokkan Awakening as of this video in JP, so he will almost definitely be coming back on a banner in the future when he has a Dokkan Awakening as a featured unit again. So I would say definitely, if you're free to play, skip this one. We don't know what's coming next after this. We'll have a better idea later on in the future, and I might even change my mind on this one. But for the most part, you should have most of these units. If you don't have them, you know, it's up to you how you decide to go about it. And that shouldn't even take us to the end of springtime. Like this should be a while from now, so it's not necessarily something that you have to worry about quite yet. The last thing I want to talk about when it comes to Dokkan Fest are these mini Dokkan Fest. We've seen the Extreme Z Awakened Dokkan Fest for Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and then we've got these Type 1s that should be showing up at some point. Maybe we'll get them, maybe we won't, I don't really know. But for all of these Dokkan Fest, these mini Dokkan Fests that have 3 featured units, if there's one of those units that you really want, there's 3 featured units. So your chances of getting one of those are very, very, very high. So anytime you see one of these, if there's a unit that you want, yeah, that's a point where maybe you might want to consider throwing some stones at it. But of course, remember that there are better banners for the most part to pull on, and if you're free to play, these are probably going to be skips for the most part. Now, let's talk about other banners. This could be the next banner. Don't know for sure, but this could be the next banner that we see. We've got the LR Bojack banner. The Bojack event is coming back around in about a week or so, and that leads me to believe that we'll probably see this banner alongside it. Maybe we'll get Bardock before that, maybe we'll get something else before that. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work. Maybe the 1,000 day banner is going to be the main banner for a little while. We'll see how it goes, but the LR Bojack banner for free-to-play players is an easy skip for me. As you can see, there's just so many not that great units. There's 14 featured SSRs. Your chances of pulling LR Bojack are very low. And in order to run Bojack at his full, you know, just to run him at his best, to make him at his best, you really need to pull 2 of him so you can get his TUR version. The AGL Bojack works just fine with him on something like Resurrected Warriors, but obviously for Extreme Int, that's not going to work nearly as well. So it's a hard unit. Bojack is an expensive unit to use. So that's one of the reasons I say skip. But if you want to go a little bit crazy on this, if you're spending money, if you really like the card, you know, I mean, go for it, do you? But my advice would be to be cautious about how many stones you throw at this thing. We've also got the Tapion banner, which was the Christmas banner for JP. I don't know what they're going to do with it for Global, but there were 10 featured SSRs. It's not a great banner. The new Tapion isn't that great. The tech one's all right for certain situations, but for the most part, this is a really easy skip. There's just nothing on this banner that's really worth going hard on. If you're a whale and you want every card in the game, that's fine. Do you. If you really like Tapion as a character, do you. That's fine. But my advice would be to avoid this at all costs. Now, we're going to talk about some other just kind of random banners that will be showing up or are constant banners that consistently show up. The first one I want to talk about is the LR banners. I'm not going to show all the units that are featured on here because it's going to be really quick. We've got one for LR Gohan, LR Broly, LR Maj Vegeta, LR Trunks, and LR Black, I believe. Correct me if there's any others in there, but they lasted for like a week or a couple of days each. They had 12 featured units on them, 12 featured SSRs anyway, so a little bit better chances than your average LR banner. So, you know, this is probably your best chance to get any of the featured LRs from their specific banner, but this is a whale banner. So if you're free to play, I would not go in deep for LR Gohan, even if you don't have him and you really want him. You kind of got to just leave it up to chance on some of these other banners that we'll be discussing here in a little bit. But if you spend a little bit of money, maybe throw a bit out there, see if you're lucky, but don't go too deep into this because it's a rabbit hole kind of thing, these LR banners. Your chances of getting the unit that you want are really low, and there's not a whole lot of payoff if you pull one of the other featured SSRs, generally speaking. And then we've got the category type banners, you know, like for Hybrid Saiyans, for Resurrected Warriors, all that kind of stuff. Doing the first 3 multi-summons that are discounted is not the worst idea. They're guaranteed SSR. A lot of times you can pull 2 SSRs in one. If you need to fill out a team, if you have the leader but you don't have a lot of units for that team, you can fill out the team pretty easily that way, and getting a multi for 30 stones is always really nice. Also, the max level type banners like this one that give you the Elder Kais, that's nice for acquiring Elder Kais. That's always a good thing. Global used to discount the first couple of multi-summons. Now they're not doing that anymore. But if you need Kais, it's a good way to go about it, and you can also get some very good support units for your Super and Extreme 120 types. But once again, 120 teams are kind of falling out of the meta a little bit, so these banners are becoming a little less tantalizing. But you do have a small chance of getting an LR from those banners. So while you're acquiring some Kais, if you need Kais, it's a great way to get it. And there's also a very tiny chance pulling an LR. So if you need a specific one, like Int, if you need Int support units, there's also a chance that you could end up walking away with an LR going. Not very high, but do it for the Kais, and eventually they will add orbs to these. So if you can also get some orbs out of the deal, that's a pretty good deal too as well. And finally, the Rising Dragon banners. I've talked about this on every single upcoming banners video. The more LRs that get introduced as far as summonable LRs, the higher your chances are of getting them. Right now, it's about a 1 in 1,000 stone chance of pulling an LR. Is it worth it to you? You decide. I would say for free-to-play players, don't go into these at all. Just focus on the Dokkan Fest. So to wrap everything up, if you're free to play, you should be saving for LR Vegito Blue and or Rosé, possibly. Wait, did I say LR Vegito Blue? Tech Vegito Blue and Super Saiyan Rosé, that dual Dokkan Fest. possibly LR Vegito and LR Gogeta. If you have a lot of stones already, you're definitely going to need a lot of them to make it really worthwhile. If you pay to play a little bit, definitely save for both the Vegito Blue and Rose banners and the LR Gogeta and Vegito banners, and don't worry too much about anything else going on. And if you spend a pretty good amount of money, still some of these banners might be worth a skip, just because, you know, it's nice on the old wallet from time to time. And with the LR Vegito and LR Gogeta banners, you are going to be spending more stones than you're used to on Dokkan Fest banners, generally speaking, because there's now 10 featured units as opposed to usual 7. So those are my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comment section below. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. No pressure, but I do enjoy it a lot, so if that helps out at all. Yeah. Anyway, you make up your own mind. You do your thing. You do you, I'll do me. Everything's good. Yep, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one.